Welcome to the Arbutus Analyzer tutorial series. This tutorial will discuss enhanced view capabilities that have been added based on user feedback and requests. One of the things users had asked for is the ability to quickly discern between fields which are physically in the data file versus fields which are not physical fields, whether they be computed fields or related fields. If you go to Tools, Options, and select the View tab, you'll notice that related fields and computed fields now are assigned a color by default. To change the color, simply click on the color palette and choose the color of your choice. Now, when you open up a table that has computed and related fields, it's very easy to tell the difference between fields which physically exist in the file and these other types of fields. Another change that was made to the view has to do with negative entries being displayed in red. As you can see here in the amount field, several of these items are less than 0, but the actual cells themselves don't stand out very much from the other individual records. If I double-click on the amount field and select the checkbox, Display Negatives in Red, now all negative entries will appear in the view in red. Along the same line as negative entries being displayed in red, we have added something called triggers. Triggers are a way in which users can quickly define certain attributes that they want to highlight in the view. So for instance, if I wanted to highlight amounts greater than $1 million and make them stand out from the rest of the records, all I need to do is double-click on the amount field, click on the triggers button, and add my trigger. I'll give it a name, high dollar amounts, and then I'll put in the expression. In this case, I'll use amounts greater than $1 million. And now I have the choice of changing the background color or the text. I'll just change the background color. And now, quickly and easily, I can see in my view all of the high dollar amounts. If I were to scroll in my view, we can see that these stand out now nicely from the other records. However, if I had a large file, this could be quite difficult to see all of them. So another thing we've done is enhanced the filtering capabilities of the view. Most times when you do a quick filter, you select a cell, right-click, and then choose Quick Filter. To quick filter on these new triggers, it's column-based as opposed to cell-based. Highlight the column, right-click, select Quick Filter, and any triggers for that column will be displayed in a cascading menu for you. In this case, there's only one, so I'll select high dollar amounts. Quickly and easily, I can see all of my high dollar transactions with one easy filter. Another thing with Quick Filter that's been changed is the ability to replace an existing filter. So for instance, if I wanted to replace my high dollar amounts to look for only those records where the batch number was 30,000, I could right-click on that particular cell, choose Quick Filter, and then make it replace as opposed to an and or an or. When I click on equals, it changes the filter that was previously in place and replaces it with the new filter. Something else regarding quick filtering that's been changed. I'll just save the changes to this view, open up a new table. If I wanted to check to see all transactions that were shipped close to this particular date, I could use the near capabilities. Near and similar are two fuzzy matching functions that have been added, and these two functions have also been included in the quick filtering. When I do a near on a date field, by default, we highlight all records within 1 calendar week, 7 days. If I were to do a near filter on I'll choose the numeric field here, the freight value. If I were to do a quick filter on using near, it will select roughly 1%. So we're doing fuzzy filtering. We're doing fuzzy matching based on all values that are roughly 1% variance from the cell that we selected. For character data, again, if I wanted to do a quick filter based on the character value I selected, by default, we do a near test of 1. This is basically just the same Levenshtein difference function that we've had for quite some time. If I wanted to change this to be a different value, for instance, I could choose 2. This will increase the scope of my Levenshtein test, and we'll see some more records appear here. The last thing that's been changed that I'll discuss today has to do with thin filtering. Processing files with thin filters, scrolling the view with thin filters. I'm going to use this fairly large file. It's got 81 million records for this example. And if I were to do a quick filter based on just one of my customer values, my customer number values, what we're going to do is create a very thin filter from these 81 million records. And as the filter is being applied, what happens is we fill in the view one record at a time as we encounter records meeting our criteria. You'll notice at the bottom of the view, it gives us an update. It tells us how we're proceeding, which record we're on, etc. This will go fairly quickly, even though it's a thin filter on a large file. This will go fairly quickly. As you can see, it's processing view at record N, and it goes through and it fills the view as we encounter those records. If you wanted to cancel the thin filter, I'll just click on the little red X here to take my global filter off. If I were to highlight this cell, do a quick filter, and if I decided for whatever reason that I picked the wrong one, for instance, and I wanted to cancel this, all you need to do is press the escape key. So I'll do that next. As it starts to build the filter, you think, oh shoot, I forgot the wrong one. You hit the escape or press the escape button to cancel the transaction, and you can see at the bottom it gives us a message that the user canceled that record, and it displays the record number it was on when the action was canceled. Last but not least, I'll go back and I'll set the filter one more time. Doesn't take very long. Okay. Now, if I want to scroll in the view, you can see that this filter is quite thin. It begins at record 3 and goes all the way down to record roughly 30 million. So if I wanted to scroll down into my file a bit more, change the view, I'll just click below the thumb and I'll go down one page at a time. Again, you see it filling the view. When it fills the view with the next block of records, I'll do the same thing again. I'll click one more page down. Again, it fills the record. We're now at approximately 75 million, and I'll do one more. And as you can see, it's now read the entire file. It has this information saved, and now if I scroll up or down, it will be immediate. So we've improved processing thin filters. We've added color to the view to easily discern between records or columns which differ for whatever purpose, whether it's to identify them as being different or just cells or records of interest. For more information regarding the near and similar function or processing information in the view, please look at the Analyzer help or contact your local support representative.